People are starting to make comparisons with another great figure of Manchester United's past, Eric Cantona, who of course came into a side that you were part of, Paul, that won the first title for 26 years. And let me just draw your attention to PPG there, points per game. In the season before Cantona arrived in 1992, it was 1.6, and you see the 2 years subsequent, it went up to 2.2, and the 2 titles in that period as well. And then the impact of Fernandes at Manchester United. From the start of last season, they're averaging 1.4 points per game. And then since then, that again is up to 2.2. The team that you were part of was already a very good team. It'd won a couple of trophies. But can it sometimes take just one player to take you to that next level, to inspire the rest?
Yeah, I think so. I think, when I look at Cantona, and I think, we'd already won the Winners' Cup against Barcelona, the FA Cup. So we weren't far away, but just that league was eluding us at the time, And, I remember the situation because I think Leeds wanted to buy Dennis Irwin. And, they said absolutely no chance. No, he's not leaving Manchester United to go to Leeds. And then Fergus Alex went, well, what about Eric? And believe it or not, they said yes. So we were kind of unsure who he was.
Why did Leeds make that call?
That's fair, because, I'd seen Eric play in the Charity Shield where he's got a hat-trick and won it for over a kick at Wembley, and I thought, he looks a decent player. Let's see what it's like when he comes to Old Trafford. So, I came to Manchester United in 89-90, and I remember, Brian Robson was my idol, Mark Hughes, great names, and I was actually scared as anything. I sat in the corner, didn't say a word. Believe it or not, Jamie, I didn't say a word. And I thought it'd be interesting to see how Eric comes in when he comes into the club. And he walked in, 6'3", statue of a mountain of a man, had a massive presence about him, and just sat there. And we said, right, he belongs at Manchester United. And to be fair, he kind of just knit us all together. He was that missing piece of the jigsaw. The goals he created, the way he made everybody raise their game. And I think that's what Fernandes has done. I think he's come in and made everybody raise their game.
I think with Cantona, he's almost remembered, certainly in Manchester United circles. He's the man who brought the title back to Manchester United. Obviously, a lot of players, Sir Alex Ferguson, but he's seen as that man. If Manchester United were to go and win the title, I think we'd all look at Fernandes, wouldn't we? We'd all look at the impact of Fernandes, and he was the man to bring the title. I just wanted to ask you on Cantona, when we talk about Premier League sort of greats and legends, I almost feel he's undervalued a little bit. If you said, name the best Premier League team of all time, you'd naturally go, Thierry Henry, Ronaldo, you talk about Alan Shearer, different players in midfield, Zola, maybe Bergkamp, number 10s before Cantona. He is one of the all-time greats. What he did at Manchester United, but then what Manchester United then went on to do, without him as the teams evolved. But you just think, what would have happened to United without him in that season if you hadn't won that title? Do you feel he's undervalued outside of Manchester United fans and club?
I don't think by Man United fans. I honestly don't, because every time, when we can get fans back into the ground, you always hear him singing his name. He's got his own song. Anyone who's got their own song shows how great this man is.
I think more outside, the wider,
I think the wider picture, when people look at the Shearers and the Zolas and the goal scorers, people Henry's, I don't think he gets appreciated as much as he was. But to us, you talk about Man United hadn't won a title for 26 years, which is kind of, when you think about all the great players who've gone through those generations at that club, and not to win a title, and for him to come in and be the major factor and do that, I think maybe because he didn't stay that long, like a Roy Keane who was there for 16 years or whatever it may be, or the longevity that he stayed in the Premier League, I think he never gets kind of picked in that kind of elite type of group. But as far as I'm concerned, he should be right at the top of the list.
Well, we look at the numbers, we looked at the impact on the team just before, looking at the actual individual numbers of appearances and goals and assists. You go through them, but the big one that stands out at this moment is where Fernandes is in terms of minutes per goal, assist. We can say Fernandes takes a lot of penalties, I get that, but Cantona did take penalties also. As I said before, do you think the big difference will be towards the end of the season whether Fernandes can get those vital goals that Cantona did, which basically takes you to the title?
I think you're absolutely spot on, Jamie. And obviously the jury's still out. Eric came into a team where we were under pressure to win the title. Manchester United this year are not under the pressure to win the title because we didn't expect them to be up there challenging the likes of Liverpool and City. But now they've got the pressure's on because they feel they can win the title. And that's the mark of a top player, what he does when it actually matters. And I think, listen, I'm not saying that's not going to be the case. He's certainly got the qualities to do it, but it's not all about Fernandes. He needs people around him to help him and muck out. And, you know, fingers crossed, let's wait and see, James.
Well, let's not forget, there is still time for these clubs to add to their squads. We're often told, aren't we, that it's very difficult to do business in January, but let's not forget that Bruno Fernandes came last January. Is there an opportunity now for Manchester United, in the position they're in, to go and do it again?
Listen, it depends on how well he sees the team. I mean, at the moment, I think he's got a kind of balanced top three. He might change it once in a while. Midfield, he seems to like Fred, McTominay, Fernandes, maybe Pogba now and then. Maybe at centre-half. I mean, I'm not sure whether he's got his perfect partnership with Maguire. He's played Lindelof in there. I like Barley now because I think he's got a bit of speed. And maybe a left-back. I know Telles is coming, but I'm not sure what Telles is. But, you know, listen, if come January, he thinks he's got a chance, and I think he will add. But at the moment, I think United are playing so well. I don't think, you know, he wants to disrupt anything. You know, I think it's a strange league, you know, and teams ain't winning week in and week out. So maybe he's run out of money. He spent enough money. So maybe he's run out now.
100 million, what's that to friends?